I'm HybridFoxKid and welcome back to the Blocks SMP. In the previous episode, we finished off the port of Honeycomb Ridge as well as adding a balloon in the distance which essentially serves as an AFK spot for my creeper farm. And I also decided to do a little bit of decorating of my actual collection system of the creeper farm. Down here you'll see two suspicious looking rings. It's essentially just to indicate where the entry and the exit for the creeper farm is. So if I think I go down this one. There we go. It's a bit of an odd entry, but you know what? I can't be bothered making it look any fancier than it already is. So yes, this is essentially the entrance to my creeper farm, and yeah, it's a simple creeper farm. We've all seen these many times before, and yeah, it works just as well as... Oh! Well, I didn't account for pufferfish. You know what? Fair enough. That's just a hazard of the area. We're gonna have to deal with it. But yes, away from these two areas, it's time to move on to the mountain. I have finally finished the detailing of both sides of the mountain, and it's looking rather cool. I really do like this. This took a very long time, but yep, I gotta say, it's finally done, and I'm quite frankly happy with the way it's looking so far, but I'm not satisfied just yet. I need to add more details, more areas, and points of interest. So, might as well get started. There's no point in actually chatting about it if we're not gonna get anything done. So the first thing I want to do for today is actually work in this specific section right here. You know how I said a couple episodes ago when I built these 5 last buildings that I was gonna only have these last 5 and then build no more buildings? Well, that was a bit of a lie. I'm gonna add one more building up here because, I don't know, it's gonna look cool up in the mountain. So yeah, we've seen this building before. There's no point in doing a time lapse, so I'm just gonna do a quick cut, get it done, and yeah, show it off when it's done. So I have finished the mountain house and it's looking rather nice. I kind of like it, but at the moment it's kind of just like being haphazardly placed there, so I kind of need to tie it into the actual base itself and actually have it connected to the rest of the base, because I like to believe that the people in Honeycomb Ridge don't fly around on elytra. So pretty much for the person up here, they are completely isolated because they can never get down. So I'm gonna have to change that, and I think I'm going to use a bunch of jungle fence gates as well as a trapdoor, so we can just boop, down one level and make staircases all the way down to maybe that area over there. So with this, I don't really think I'm going to go straight to the floor. I think I want to go to one of these alleyways over here, probably like this one here, the first one we have available, and then just have like an elevator going up to here and then having the stairs go upwards. So that's going to be interesting how that one goes, and it's going to be a lot of trapdoor and yeah, fence gate placing. So let's see how that goes, and let's see how far I can get until I hit this area here. So I think I have the general layout of what the pathway is going to look like. I decided instead of doing 1 down each time to go down by 7, because by the time I got to the bottom it would have been only about to here, and I needed to go all the way over here. So yeah, went down by 7 and it still kept a pretty high elevation. So now I just got to put all the fence gates in, which it's probably going to be a little bit difficult, but you know what? We'll get through it nice and quick. So now I finished the placement of all the fence gates, and then I decided to add a little bit of lighting in here as well. And so far, it's shaping up to look pretty cool. I kind of like it so far. So now we got to make up a bubble elevator to be able to get up and down this area, because as I said before, I don't think the people of Honeycomb Ridge are rocking elytra. So I think I'm going to make it in this alleyway here, and hopefully I can gauge how this is. So one should be here, and one should be here, hopefully. Let's quickly just pop a trapdoor there so I can indicate where's the entrance and where's the exit. So if I make 2 of these, I can pop him there and there. And this should take me out to right at the bottom. Oh, that was close. And there we go. Oh. Well, that's a little bit higher than I expected. Okay, we gotta go down by 2. There we go, that's better. That was where I was supposed to exit. There we go, we'll just cover that up like nothing ever happened. So that is... I don't even remember which one I went down. Okay, let's do the same for the other side. Ow. I don't know why I did that. I could have just walked in from this side. You know what? Wasn't made for wise decisions. But here is the second one. And yeah, so we essentially had the entry point. Now we actually just gotta make the bubble column and then actually decorate this spot so we don't have water leaking everywhere. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that off camera because I don't think anyone wants to see the building of a bubble column. So yeah, I'll cut back to when that's finished. With the water elevators done, I can officially cross this project off the list and say that the floating house in the mountain is all finished. So I gotta say, I really like how this one turned out. I've always wanted to have like a house tucked away in the mountain. It just took me a long while to get around to it because I needed the detailing done first. But gotta say, I do like how it turned out, and it's feels very cozy. I don't know why, it feels very cozy. But unlike all my other houses, this one is completely barren. There is no interior because I don't really know how to decorate interior, so I decided to just leave it. So the whole reason why I built this house, trust me, it's not just for aesthetics as much as I want it to be. There is actually a little bit of story behind this one as well. So there is a particular person in Honeycomb Ridge who doesn't really like people. He's essentially a hermit. He stays away from everyone and he lives up in the mountain, all secluded in his little house. He doesn't really want to see anyone and he doesn't want anyone to meet him. So yeah, he stays secluded in the mountain away from everybody, and he pretty much just like yelled from the balcony like, "Get off my lawn, I don't want you here." So yeah, that's the story of the hermit, and yeah, he just lives high in the mountain because he doesn't want to talk to anyone. But yes, that's that part done, and that is the story of the hermit all finished, which will be added to the library once I actually get the library writing done. It's getting there, I promise. It's nearly finished. Hopefully by the next episode we'll have that all done and we can do a little bit of light reading. But we still have more to the mountain to do, and I think what I want to plan to do now is railway tracks connecting the mountain together. So I want like a bunch of different minecarts running across this mountain seamlessly. I'm thinking maybe like 4 or 5, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. We'll see how many we got, and yeah, we'll see from there. So like a lot of things, I don't really have this part planned. I'm just gonna throw a bunch of things everywhere and see if it looks okay. Pop. And yeah, we'll see where we go from here. Another thing about this particular section as well is I'm not too sure if I'm going to keep like the deep slate. We're going to have to wait and see. I don't really know what I want to do with the colors, so if it changes, don't be surprised. So I've laid out the 4 railway tracks, and I've also fleshed out 1 full railway track just to see how much vertical space it will take up. And I don't know how I feel about it at the moment. My one problem was always accidentally blocking out the snake, but you gotta think of it this way, you don't really see the snake from the back, you mainly see the snake from the front and the other side of Honeycomb Ridge. So I don't think having the minecart tracks are gonna be too bad here. I don't know, I think this is going to have to be a case of trust the process and see how it looks when you're completely finished. I think I'm gonna have to knuckle down for a couple hours, get this done, and see what they look like at the end with the full decorations. Yeah, at the moment, I'm kind of on the fence. So I've done a little bit of work on the minecart tracks, and I think I kind of like it. It looks really nice, really simplistic, and yeah, it adds a little bit of life to the area. I really do like it. I was really worried about it blocking off the snake, but I think there's just enough that it's not massively distracting, and that's why I'm putting him at the end of Honeycomb Ridge, because if I were to put any over this side, it would definitely be blocking the snake. So yeah, there's none over this side, it's all over the back end because yeah, we need something to fill up this area here because above here was way too open and it felt really empty. So that was one of the main reasons why I decided to add these minecart tracks, just to fill out the space a little bit and add a little bit more character to the area. And I do like the minecarts, they're kind of cute. Not gonna lie, I did have a really big temptation to put like creepers in them, and then I was like, that's a very, very stupid idea. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, the minecarts are just gonna stay empty and hopefully go back and forth forever. Hopefully they don't stop. I think, oh, okay, I wasn't able to land in that. But yeah, I think that's all I can do for the minecart. I think they look pretty good, and yeah, I think I like it. I think I really do. But I want to move on to another thing to do on the mountain today, and this is something that I've wanted to have essentially since the start, but I never actually got around to putting some at the start, is chimney pipe, because as you know, all of my buildings in Honeycomb Ridge have a whole bunch of chimneys. This place is an industrial mining town after all, so you need a lot of chimneys because there need to be workshops for like producing the ore that this place produces. So time to get a bunch of chimneys put down in the area and see what it looks like. So I'm not really sure on color pellets, so maybe I might have a couple of pellets of different kind of looking chimneys in a couple seconds, so we'll be right back. So I said I was gonna have a couple of designs for these chimneys, but the first one I made, I actually really like. I kind of like it. I like the addition of the cobble deep slate because a lot of my area is like tiled deep slate. And yeah, I have no cobble deep slate, so I decided to throw it in, and it makes sense because they're chimneys, they don't really have much like maintenance, and they're very high up, so I don't expect anyone to be taking care of them for a long time. And then I also decided to add the jungle accent because a lot of this place is orange with all the acacia, so I like throwing the jungle in every now and then because it breaks it up a little bit. So now with the design set in stone, I gotta go around to all the tops of my mountain and put in a whole bunch more, so this is gonna be a while, but don't worry, you guys won't have to sit through it. So I've done a little bit of work and we have a whole bunch of chimneys now lining the top of the mountain in Honeycomb Ridge. When I originally thought of the idea of putting chimneys in the area, I was planning to put them all around the mountain, so like lower down here, a little bit higher, and all in between, but as I got into building, I decided to just make them line the top of the mountain. And I think that's probably the better idea. If I added a couple lower, it would have been a little bit too cluttered, I think. So I think I ended up going with the best idea. So that's the chimneys done for now. I might add a couple in here and there if I need a little bit of extra detail. But for now, I think we're doing okay. So I want to move on to another thing with the mountain today. And I've been kind of inspired by the floating house up here and the little walkway of jungle trapdoors. So what I want to do is I want to utilize a couple more alleyways like I have with this one. First things first, let's find the alleyways that haven't been used and see how many we can actually put to use. So we have one here, a second one here, and a third and final one here as well. So I have a total of 3 alleyways I can use, and what I plan to do is have a bubble vader up to about here, and then have a little walkway going out to like a little greenery section that's hanging over the mountains. I think probably building that first will probably come before actually decorating it. So yeah, let's get started with building that, which shouldn't be too difficult. It's just going to be a copy of this pattern for the mountain and a little bit of grass on top. But you know what? I think what will suit this the most is probably a time lapse. So let's get into it. Another job is done, and that means another thing is added to the mountain of Honeycomb Ridge. And I gotta say, they look really, really cute. You can't really see them from over here, but we've got one over there, one just here as well, which is closer to the front area of the base, and then one all the way over at the end, which is very, very small compared to the other two. Just over here. And yeah, it's adding a bit of life to the base, which I really do like, and it's also adding a lot more interest to the elevated areas, which I really like as well. I really needed to add a lot of that to the mountain. So I think I might add a couple more, but just have them be like their separate entity and not have anything going towards them. Just, they're there for the sake of being there and absolutely nothing else. But with these specific ones here, I do want to add something a little bit extra to these just to spice it up a tad bit. And I don't exactly know which shulker box it's in. It is not that one, this one, no. Okay, we've got half of it. And there is the other half. Oh, trapdoor's already in my inventory. Okay, I don't know how they got there. But I want to add like a little park bench. So, I actually don't know how wide I want this. Maybe 4 blocks should be enough. That should be plenty. And then if maybe 3 blocks might be better. I don't really know if this is going to be symmetrical, but I don't think I can really be picky with this one. But yeah, I'm going to add a little park bench. I like it. I really do! It's a very odd looking park bench, but this is how all the benches look like in Honeycomb Ridge, so we're gonna have to deal with it. So yeah, let's quickly chuck a park bench on the other two. There we go. I like that one a little bit better than the previous one. You know what? There's not really a good place to put it anywhere, is there? I like it like that. Okay, so we've done that part. We've added the little park benches to the little mound. And one other thing I want to add, and I don't know if it's going to look good, is have a water stream like this one here going into a particular part of the mound. But the problem is I've kind of picked really bad areas for all of these because they kind of line up with these outcroppings of the mountain. So I don't know how much that's going to affect the water flow, but I'll see if I can find a specific spot that looks nice and see if, like, maybe for this rooted dirt pile here, have a bit of water go down into that specific block. We're gonna have to see though. I don't know how this is gonna go. So hypothetically speaking, if I were to break a hole here, and then I'll quickly sit there, and if I were to put water here, will that cause absolute chaos for my area below? The problem is Honeycomb Ridge isn't the most friendly when it comes to water, so I think I'm just gonna have to do it and hope that it doesn't cause too much of a mess, and if it does, be... Oh no, okay, this isn't good. This is a big problem. Oh god, this is very much a big problem and I can't stop it. I am so lucky that all landed on the roof. I think I either had to completely get rid of this idea or just make use of a glass pane. We'll see which one actually works out better. Okay, so it looked like the use of glass panes actually worked and the disaster wasn't too massive. It didn't really destroy much other than a couple bits of grass. But luckily that's quite easy to fix. So I popped a glass pane just there where my crosshair is now. You can barely see it because it's light grey, but it does actually make the water flow in the right direction, which was honestly what I was hoping for. And I kind of like it. It does add that pop of blue that I really want in the base. And it adds a little bit of extra depth as well, because it's not completely against the mountain, it's popping a little bit off. So I kind of like that, and I think I'm going to do that to the other two, and hopefully they don't cause as much of a mess as this one did. So let's quickly go do those and hope for a nice clean attempt. I ruined my carrot farm! Oh, this is an absolute disaster. I don't know why I decided to work with water. Gotta say, so far, both of the attempts of putting the water in the base have been an absolute disaster, but I like the design, so I'm gonna have to stick with it. There we go, that's what I wanted the first time. So we've got two done, let's see what the third one's gonna be like, see if I actually do this one correct the first time, but we're not gonna be too sure, and I think this one's going to be a lot lower, so I think maybe here might be the good place to go. Yeah, so we'll go there, and this one here. Quite an awkward spot to put it, but that's really all we can do, because there's a massive tree in the way, so yeah, we're gonna have to put it there. Okay, let's see. Is third time's the charm, or will this cause an absolute flooding again? No! This one actually works! Oh, thank God, because this would have been absolutely disastrous if that one had leaked. But no, we have it, and it looks absolutely stunning. I actually really like those. I think with that, I'm gonna leave this episode here. We've got a lot of things done, and I think in the next episode, we're going to be working on the mountain yet again. There's still a couple of things I want to do, and I also want to do a little bit of cleanup of my specific area as well, add extra things to the roads, and any kind of nitty-gritty things I want to do before the end of the season. But I think for now, I'm gonna leave this episode here. If you guys liked the video, give the video a thumbs up, and maybe subscribe if you want to stick around. Or good, I'll see you guys next time. See ya!